Hey, what's up, buddy? Your accent doesn't matter, and let me tell you why. You may be afraid to speak English because you're scared that somebody will notice your accent and you'll feel embarrassed. Screw that. You need to get talking. And let me tell you why. It doesn't even matter if you have an accent. Number one, diversity of accents in English. You may be afraid of speaking English because you think that your accent is too thick, which means it's very strong or hard to understand. But you have to understand, even native speakers have thick accents sometimes. Think about some of the southern states in the US. They have thick accents sometimes. I've worked with people that I almost can't understand at all, but they're native speakers and they're Americans. Or what about the infamous Cork County, Ireland? I literally have no idea what they're saying when they speak, and that's okay. We can try and communicate, but I'm not gonna get mad at them for having a different accent. They're not gonna get mad at me for having a different accent. And nobody is going to hate you if you have a bit of an accent. So let me ask you, what are the most common English accents? You might say British. No.
Wrong.
American? No.
Wrong.
Australian? It's
Wrong.
Indians, dude. Indians. The Indian accent is spoken more than the American accent, than the British accent, than the Canadian accent. I mean, in my hometown, there are so many Indians that work there that have thick accents, but it doesn't matter. As long as they can pronounce things well enough so that I understand them, it doesn't matter if they have an accent. And matter of fact, I think their accent's really cool. My point, you can't hear an American accent or a British accent and say, this is how English is supposed to be spoken. Because our language is spoken all around the world. There is no correct way to speak it. So many people have different accents, different dialects, and that is awesome. That is fine. So don't worry about being judged. This language is for everyone, and we will be happy that you are learning our language. So don't worry about your accent. But if you don't worry about your accent, how will you be understood? Well, that's where it comes in. It's the pronunciation. If you can get pronunciation 75% correct, your accent doesn't matter. Here's an example. I've been down here in Mexico. Recently, I've spoken with two people in English, and person one was an Uber driver. Person two was a friend of a friend, let's say. The Uber driver learned the English accent really well. Really well. Like, he was saying things that sounded like it was coming from the mouth of an American. However, I couldn't understand a lot of things he said because his pronunciation was wrong. For example, he said the word schedule, but pronounced it schedule. I mean, I can say that in a perfect American accent, schedule. Okay, you have the accent perfect, but if you don't pronounce the word right, it can't be understood. So person number two did not have that good of an accent. Matter of fact, I could note that this person was a Mexican. Obviously, that's totally fine. But her pronunciation was correct, so I understood everything she said. So now we've got that established. Accent does not matter. Pronunciation, indeed, it does matter. So how do we get good pronunciation? That's a bit difficult, being that you're learning English, where there's like a bajillion vowel sounds. However, the best way to do it is with a tutor, a private tutor, someone who can correct you as soon as you make a mistake. The thing is, when we learn pronunciation, it's about muscle memory. So if you train yourself saying something incorrectly, your mouth, your tongue, your teeth will remember how you say that word, but it's wrong. That's why having a private tutor is really great, because they can correct it before it becomes a habit. And as soon as you know how to pronounce a word and your muscles know, you'll never forget. If you want a private tutor, I recommend Italki. They're like the most established, and they've even given me a link to give to you that gives you $10 off your first private session. That means you could even get a private tutor lesson for a couple bucks and no commitments. If you're interested in getting that $10 off, go in the description. It'll be right there for you. If not, method number 2 is free. Imitation of native speakers. I can't stress how important this can be for you. This is the second best way of getting good pronunciation. Basically, what you do is you go to Netflix or YouTube, find a movie or video with native speakers, listen to them say a sentence, pause, and repeat what they're saying. You do this multiple times until you feel that you are saying it almost the exact way that they say it. And again, we're training your muscles, we're training your mouth, we're training your tongue on how to pronounce things correctly. These are my 2 tips for you on getting better pronunciation. But just remember what I said in this video. You know, there's like 100 million Nigerians that speak English. That's like double the amount of Canadian English speakers there are in the world. So who cares about your accent? We all have accents. And matter of fact, your accent makes you more unique when you speak the language. What's really important is pronunciation. And that you can absolutely learn. And I believe in you. It was great seeing you again. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have an incredible week. I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.